Shabbat Shalom. Welcome once again to Agudath Etz Ahayem Synagogue here in Montgomery, Alabama. I am Rabbi Scott Kramer. We are back in our sanctuary now that I have been released from quarantine, from COVID. I will be joined shortly by our Chazan, and pardon me if we're going to get started a little bit later today, but I need to take care of one technical issue. Be back in a couple of minutes. Sorry about that slight delay. I had to coordinate with our Chazan. Both of us are running a little bit late this morning. Good morning to Elisa. Good morning to Jack and Michelle. Good morning to Max. And good morning to Virginia. I hope all of you are doing well and are having a nice Shabbat. We begin with Birchat HaShachar. We were praying out of Siddur Lev Shalem for Shabbat, downloadable from our synagogue's website. We begin with Birchat HaShachar, the blessings of the morning, page 103. Please rise if you are able. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech olam, asher natan lasech vivina lavchin bein yom uvein laila. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech olam, shesani b'tzomo. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech olam, shesani ben chorin. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech olam, shesani Yisrael. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech olam, pokeach ivrim. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech olam, Mabi Sharamim. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Matir Asirim. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Rokal Ha'aretz Halamayim. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Hamechin Mitzadei Gaver. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, She'asa likot tzarki. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Oz Yisrael b'gvura. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Ot Yisrael b'tifara. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Hanotein layoef koach. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Uteneinu hayom v'choyom l'chin l'ches l'rachamim menecho v'nechonim v'digmaleinu chasadim tovim. Baruch Adonai gomer chasadim tovim le'amo Yisrael. You may be seated. We continue on page 112, Psalm 92. Hayom yom Shabbat Kodesh, Shebu hayom arvin omrin b'vet hamikdash, mizmar shir le'yom HaShabbat. Odinduvun besevde shinim ranim yu lagid kesharanait surivalo avlatabo. Page 120, Psalm 30. Mizmar shir chanakat baile David. הפכת מספדי למחולי פיתקתי סחי וזכני שמרה למען יזמך ולא ידום אדוני אלוהי לעולם עודך. We rise, page 122, for the beginning of Psukei Zimra, the introductory part of our service to get us in the mood for prayer. We begin with Baruch She'amar, page 122. Yai lai lai la lai la lai la 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 lai. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Baruch She'amar v'hayaolam, Baruch Hu Severeshit, Baruch Hu Mevioseh, Baruch Hu Zerum Kayem, Baruch Mirachim al haaretz, Baruch Mirachim Allah Habriot, Baruch Mishalem Sachar Dov L'Reav, Baruch Hailad, V'kayam Lanetzach, Baruch Podel Matzil, Baruch Shemo. Yai lai la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Holy Avraham Hamahulal B'fiam Hu Mishbach Umafor Birshon Chasidav Avadav Uvishirei David Avdecha. Yachid Chel Melech Mishbach V'Dosh Magado Baruch atah Adonai Melech Mahulal Batishpachot. You may be seated. We continue, page 136 with Ashrei. Ashrei Yoshvei Veitecha Od Yalu Chasela. Tehillat Adonai Berpi Vivareko B'Sar Shem Kachol Elam Vad Vanachni Nevarech Yam Yatav Elam. Hallelujah. Page 141 at the top, Psalm 150. Hallelujah, 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 be'obikadsho, hallelujah, bikiyauzo, Hallelujah, Vigvurotav, Hallelujah, Karov, Goodlow, Hallelujah, 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 Beteka Shofar, Hallelujah, Beneva Vechinor, Hallelujah, Betof Macho, Hallelujah, Bemini Viugav, Hallelujah, 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 Betziut Shema, Hallelujah, Betziut Trua, Kolen Shema, Hallelujah, 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 Kolen Shema, Hallelujah, Hallelujah, Kolen Shema, Hallelujah, Hallelujah, Hallelujah. Baruch Adonai Le'olam Amen v'Amen. Baruch Mitzion Shchein Yerushalayim Hallelujah. Baruch Adonai Elohim Elohei Yisrael Sidnif L'Levado. Uvaruch Shem Kavodo L'Elohim Lechvet Kohoret. Amen v'Amen. Page 145. Nishmat Kochayv Tivarech et Shimecha Adonai Eloheinu. Page 146. Mid melach mishvelach mi'aroch lachoi lagadol gibor v'hanora el elyon konei shamayim va'aretz nahela lachon shebechachon v'erchan v'erchat shem kodeshecha kamor leDavid bar chinafshi Adonai v'chol ke'avai et shem kodesho ha'eb tazmozecha gadol bechavod shemecha Hagibor lenetzach v'nemenorotecha Hamelech hayoshev al kisei ram v'nisa shochen ahad maharom v'kadosh shemo v'chatuv ranenu tzadikim b'Adonai l'shirim navatila b'fihi yesharim titalahu uvdivrei tzadikim dibarach Uvilshon chasidim didromam, uvikerev kedoshim titkadash, umakalot revavot machobet Yisrael. Lo dehod lehalel shabeach v'leramim ladil v'rek lalelu kales, al kol divrei shirot v'tishpachot, David men Yishai havdecha meshichecha, yishtabach shimecha la'ad malkeinu. Berachot v'hodot me'atav yad olam baruch et Adonai, El melagado batishpachot elodot Adonai niflot habocher b'shirei zimeram melecheho cheha olamim. We have just concluded our preliminary part, the preliminary part of our service. We are now all warmed up and ready to go. So we rise, page 149. For the Baruch Hu, the call to worship. Baruch Hu et Adonai Amevorach. Baruch Adonai Varach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch et Adonai Eloheinu melech olam. Yotzer v'recho shechosei shalom uvarei hakol. You may be seated. We're on page 150. Hakol yoduch v'yakol yishabechucha. Ein kerchach Adonai Eloheinu b'olam hazeh v'yein zulot melchinu chayei olam haba. Efes petach hagolei lemot HaMashiach v'yein do melech Moshienu letchiyat hametim. Ladon hakol hamasim baruch umvorach befi kol neshama gadlo v'tuvo. Malei olam datu dvuna sovavim oto hamid goe al chayot hakodesh v'nedar bechavod ala merkava zechrutu mishor lifnei chiso chesed v'rachamim lifnei chvodo Tovim miyorod shebara Eloheinu yitzaram bedat bevina uvaskehu koach ugvura natan bahem liod moshlim bekerev deveu meleim ziv umefikim noga Naezivam bechol olam smechim betzetam v'sasim bevoam osim b'yemar etzon konam b'yer v'chavod notnim lishmo tzala v'rina lezecher malechuto kara l'shemesh Vayizrach or Ravehikin Turat Alevana Shevach Notnim Lo Kol Tzeva Marom Tiferet Ugedula Serafim v'yofanim v'chayot hakodesh, page 152. La'ela sheshavat mikol ha'masim bayom hashvit alei v'sheva kisei chvodo. Titbarach Moshieno Shavach Madelech V'yor Moreshasiti Yefaruch Hasela, page 153. Titbarach Sureinu Malkeinu V'goleinu B'rei Kedoshim. V'chulam bodchim epiam b'kedushat hara b'shrev zimra v'archim shabachim v'rimaritzim u'makdishim u'mamlichim et shehem moel hamelech hagadol hagibor v'hanora kadoshu v'chulam kablim alayam u'machut shemaim zeh mizeh ונודרים רשות זה לזה לקדיש לאותם מנחת רוח בשפה ורבנים הקדושה כולם כחרונים ויאמרים בירא, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך על הארץ כבודו. ויופנים וחיות הקודש פרש קדום נצרפים, לימתם משבחים ויאמרים, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו, לאל ברוך נימות ייתנו. אור חדש על ציון דהיר, ונזכה כולנו מהרה לאורו. אור חדש על ציון דהיר, ונזכה כולנו מהרה לאורו. ברוך אתה אדוני יוצר המאורות. Page 154. It is traditional, if you are wearing a talit, to take hold of the 4 tzitzit, or tzitziot, of your talit, and in preparation for the Shema, which is on the next page, page 154. Avarabhavtanu Adonai Eloheinu chem lagidolavetecha chamalt aleinu Avinu Malkeinu ba'avur avoteinu shebatchu vecha Avinu Malkeinu vatilamgen chukei kein techanenu tlamdeinu Avinu avarachaman amrachim rachim aleinu v'tein b'libeinu lahavin Avinu laskil lishmoa, lilmod ulelamed, lishmor velasot. O kayem et kol divrei Talmud Toratecha bi'ahava. Ve'ha'enenu b'toratecha, v'dahabek libeinu b'mitzvotecha. ויחד לבבינו לאהבה ויראה את שמך ולא נבוש לעולם ועד ולא נבוש לעולם ועד כי בשם קדשך הגדול והנורא בטחנו נגילה ונשמחה נגילה ונשמחה בישועתך והביאנו לשלום מארבע כנפות הארץ ותוליכנו קוממיות לארצנו כי אל פה ישועתה ובנו בחרת מקום ולשון וקרבתנו לשמך הגדול סלע באמת להודות לך וליחדך באהבה ברוך אתה אדוני הבוחר בימו ישראל באהבה מלך נאמן Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשכבך ובקומך וקשרתם להיות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך והיה אם שמוע תשמעו אל מצוותיי. Vayomer Adonai Moshe lemor daber el bnei Yisrael v'yamarta lehem v'yasu lehem tzitzit al kanfei v'gdehem ladoratam v'natnu al tzitzit hakana b'til techelet v'haya lachem letzitzit uritem oto uschartem et kol mitzvot Adonai v'asitem otam V'lo tatu acharei levavchem v'acharei nechem asher temzonim achareihem leman dizgaru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'item kadoshim leloechem ani Adonai Eloechem asher hotzeiti etachem be'eretz Mitzrayim leot lachem le'elohim ani Adonai Elohechem emet. Ledovedo kayam ushmo kayam v'chisonochon malchut v'imanato le'ad kayamet. We continue page 157, fourth line from the top of the page. Udvar chayim kayim minachamanim ad ulamei ulamin. Emet shato Adonai Eloheinu v'levateinu malkeinu melachavoteinu goelenu goelavotenu Yotrenetzer Yeshotenu Podenu Matzilenu Milam Shemecha Ein Elohim Zulatecha Ezrat Avotenu Atahu Me'olam. Page 158. Mi Mitzrayim gi'altanu Adonai Eloheinu Umi beit avadim peritanu Kol bechorehem haragata O bechorecha galta Ve'amsuf bakata V'zevdim tibata Vididim hevarta, vaychasu mayim tzarehem, echad mehem lo notar, alzot, shibechu ahuvim, veromemu, v'natnu yedidim, zmirot shirot v'tishpachot, berachot v'hodot, l'melech chai v'kahayam, Ram v'nisa, gadol v'nora, mashpil geim, umagbiya shefalim, motzi asirim fodenavim v'yozedalim, v'yon eliamo b'yet shavam elav, tilod le'el elyon brachum vrach, Moshe uv'neis chalach hanishira b'simcha rabah, V'yameru chulam mi chamocha bo'elim Adonai mi kamocha nedor b'kodesh nora tehilot osefele Shira chadasha shibechu geulim Shimcha asfatayam yachad kulamodu Ve'imlechu v'yameru Adonai yimloch le'olam v'oed Tzur Yisrael kuma b'ezrat Yisrael uvteichinu mecha Yehuda v'Yisrael go aleinu Adonai tzavot shemo Kadosh Yisrael, Baruch Atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. We rise for the Amidah for Shacharit Shabbat, page 159. We will sing the first or chant the first three brachot out loud, beginning on page 159 through the end of the Kedusha, page 161, and then you may continue till page 166 for the final four brachot. Again, we begin 159. Oops. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avoteinu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomer Chasadim Dovim ve'Konei Hakol V'zocher chastei avot, u'mevii goel levnei v'neihem lamhan shemo b'yahava, melech ozer v'oked u'mashiach u'magen. Baruch atah Adonai, magen Avraham, v'oked Sarah, atah gibor le'elam Adonai mechayim et imato, rav lehoshia, morid atal, mechalkeo chayim b'chesed, Nechaye meitim berachamim rabim, somech noflim v'rofei cholim, u'matir asirim, u'mekayim emunato, lishenei afar, michamocha bal givurot, u'midom melach, melech memit, u'mechayeh, U'matzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman atah l'chayot meitim, Baruch atah Adonai, mechayei hametim. Nikadesh et shimcha ba'olam, keshem shema kadishim, Oto bishmei marom, kakatu vayad neviecha, v'kahara ze el ze v'yamar, kadosh, 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 Adonai tzavod, malach ha'aretz kevodo. Az beko hashkado adir vechazak mashmim ko midnaseim leomat serafim leomatam Baruch Yomeu, Baruch V'Adonai Mimkomo. Mimkom Chamal Kenu Tofia V'Timloch Aleinu Ki Mechakim Anachnu Lach Matai timloch betzion bekarav b'yameinu leolam voed tishkon titkadal v'titkadash betoch Yerushalayim mirecha ledor v'dor lenetzach netzachim ועינינו תראינה מלכותך כדבר האמור בשירי עוזך על ידי דוד משיח צדקך. Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Yimloch Adonai le'olam melayach Zion l'dor v'dor. Hallelujah. Ledor vador, ledor vador, ledor vador nagid god lecha. Ledor vador, ledor vador, ledor vador nagid god lecha. Ulenetzach netzachim kedushak tanakdish, kedushak tanakadish. V'shivchacha Eloheinu mipinu lo yamush leolam leolam voed. Ledor vador, ledor vador, ledor vador nagid god lecha. Ledor vador, ledor vador, ledor vador nagid god lecha. Ki amelech gado gado v'kadosh 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 ata. Ki amelech gado gado v'kadosh 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 ata. Ledor vador, ledor vador, ledor vador nagid god lecha. Ledor vador, ledor vador, ledor vador nagid god lecha. Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. Yismach Moshe b'matnat chelko. Use shalom bimramav, uyase shalom aleinu, v'yal kol Yisrael, v'meru amen. Yase shalom, shalom aleinu, v'yal kol Yisrael, yase shalom, Shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Again, Shabbat Shalom to everyone. It's so interesting to watch the comments now on 3 different platforms. We have people coming in through our website, through Facebook Live, and now YouTube Live. Yes, you can now put Charles and I, Chazan and I, on your 85-inch screens in your living room or den through a YouTube app. I challenge anybody to do that and let me know how it sounds. In any event, Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to everyone. We are going to transition into our virtual Torah service. Hang on one second. Excuse me, there we go. And I will now pass the, let's see if I can get this right. Nope, there it is. I am going to pass the virtual football to our Chazan. Welcome to Chazan Charles Barron. He's been, I think this is his 37th year here in Montgomery, Alabama. It's funny because he's only 39, so he started when he was 3, or 2, sorry. And 2 days ago was his birthday, his Hebrew birthday. We're going to be celebrating his Hebrew birthday at the beginning of the holidays and his English birthday at the end. So we welcome him here with us. We will begin the virtual Torah service, page 168. Microphone's not on. Is it on? Green? Okay, sorry. Apologize.
En kamocha b'Elohim Adonai ve'en k'ma'asecha malchutecha malchut kol olamim u'memshaltecha b'chol dor v'dor Adonai melech Adonai moloch Adonai yimloch Yulam evoed Adonai oz liyamo yiten Adonai yivarech et amo b'shalom avarachamim etiva b'ritzoncha et zion tibne chomot Yerushalayim Kivecha levabatachnu melech el ram v'nisa Adon olamim.
We rise as we face the ark, page 168, and the ark is open. Compassionate Creator, teach me to appreciate the love of my family and friends. May I not be the source of pain or contention, jealousy, or needless competitiveness, but may I learn to listen to the heartfelt stirrings of all whom I know and love. And may I help fulfill their needs, grant health of body and spirit to all. May your Torah fashion me into an instrument of your will and of your peace. Amen. Close the yard.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonai Kadosh Shemo.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Gadol Adonai Iti, Uneramima, Shemo Yata, Echa Adonai, Hagedula, Vehagevura, Vehatiferet, Vanetzach, Vehahod, Ki chol bashamayim uba'aretz, Lecha Adonai, Hamamlacha, Vehamitnase, Lechor Rosh, Romemo, Romemo, Adonai Eloheinu, V'hishtachavo, V'hishtachavo, Lehadom Ragel Kadosho, Romemo, Romemo, Adonai Eloheinu, V'hishtachavo, Lehare Kodesho. Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. Avorachamim huriachim am amusim Yisro brit etanim. ויציר נפשותנו מן השעות הרעות, ויגער ביצר הרע מן הנשואים, ויכון אותם לפלטת עולמים, וימלא משאלותינו במידה טובה ישועה ורחמים.
Thank you, Chazan. Good and sit down. So we're going to switch places. Let me see if this will work. Nope. Nope, sorry, wrong one. There we go. We're going to try and see if that one works. Let's turn that off. Turn that back on when you're back up here. Shabbat Shalom. Once again, welcome to our family, to our synagogue for Shabbat morning services. Here, the Shabbat before the high holidays, which begins this coming Monday night at 6 p.m., which we will be brought here right where you are on our synagogue's webpage, on Facebook Live or YouTube Live. I'm seeing that those that are on YouTube Live said it's a a much better experience to watch and to listen to. So those on the other two platforms might want to experiment and try YouTube Live and see if you like that experience better. You can also make comments there as well. The portion this week is Nitzavim. Nitzavim is sometimes paired up with the next portion, Vayelech, on those years where we have less Shabbatot because the holidays occur on a weekend, on a Saturday. This year, most of the holidays are not on Shabbat, so we have to stretch things out a little bit. All the portions take their own. Parshat Nitzavim, Deuteronomy chapter 29, verse 9. I will read or chant the three aliyot and make appropriate comments where I need. I'm also going to translate and make appropriate comments where I need to. First aliyah, Deuteronomy 29, verse 9. Atem nitzavim hayom kolachem lifnei Adonai Elohechem rashechem shivtechem ziknechem v'shot torechem kol ish Yisrael tapechem neshechem v'gerecha asher b'kerev machanecha mechotev etzecha ad shohev mimecha le'ovrecha bivrit Adonai Elohecha uvalato asher Adonai Elohecha agareit imecha hayom. You shall stand this day, all of you, before the Lord your God, your tribal heads, your elders, and your officials, all the men of Israel, your children, your wives, even the stranger within your camp, from the wood chopper to the water drawer, to enter into the covenant of the Lord your God, which the Lord your God is concluding with you this day with its sanctions. The only comment I'd like to make with that is just a note of, didn't the Israelites already enter the covenant at Sinai? Didn't they cut a brit, which is a covenant? Didn't God bring them under the mountain and say, you are entering the covenant this day? So what can it mean? What can it possibly mean for this entering into the covenant? How is this different from the first covenant? Well, we are in the book of Deuteronomy, which is the last 3 or 4 discourses of Moses, who dies just before the end of Deuteronomy, and then the children of Israel are poised on the east side of the Jordan, and beginning in the book of Joshua, which follows the book of Deuteronomy, Joshua leads the children of Israel across the Jordan, which splits, just like the Red Sea, and they go into the land of Canaan to conquer it. So here we are in Parshat Nitzavim. This is the last day of Moses' life. Yeah, take that in. This is the last day of Moses' life, after which the Israelites will have will lose the first and only leader of the Israelites when they were in slavery and just outside, for the Exodus. For the last 40 years, Moses has led the children of Israel through Egypt to the Sinai, to Mount Sinai, where they entered the covenant. And here they are poised to enter Canaan, after 40 years. So what's different with this group and the first group? Well, first of all, at this moment, there are only 2 or 3 people alive that actually were at Mount Sinai. Moshe, Joshua, Yehoshua, Moses, Joshua, and maybe Caleb, I think. Not really sure. But, so this is the generation that grew up. They were young. They were not really cognizant of what was going on in the Exodus. This is a generation that grew up in the 40 years wandering, and they learned of the stories of the Israelites being in slavery from their parents and grandparents and great-grandparents. And here it is, that next generation poised to enter the land of Canaan, and they enter into a covenant. Look at it this way. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob were each made a promise by God. Each of them individually, our three of our first forefathers. Each of them was made the same promise, that God will protect them and bring them into the promised land, into the land of Canaan, and all the nations of the world will be blessed through them, and all their enemies will be cursed. So just like God had to repeat the promise he made to each of the forefathers, 3 forefathers, God has the new generation enter into the covenant. But it's the next aliyah that does something a little bit different. Deuteronomy chapter 29, verse 12. Leman hakimotecha hayom lo le'am והוא יהיה לך לאלוהים כאשר דיבר לך וכאשר נשבע לאבותיך לאברהם ליצחק וליעקב ולא ייתכם לבדכם אנוכי כורת את הברית הזאת ואת העלה הזאת כי את אשר ישנו פה איבנו מעד היום לפני אדוני אלוהיך, ואת אשר הננו פה עמנו היום. To the end that he may establish you this day as his people, and be your God, as he promised you and as he swore to your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I make this covenant with its sanctions, not with you alone, but both with those who are standing here with us this day before the Lord our God, and with those who are not with us here this day. And I read one extra verse. I apologize for that. So the one thing that is different with this is, well, first of all, it looks like this new generation is getting the same promise that God made to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He's bringing them into this land, and they will conquer it, and it is their heritage. But it says, but he is making this covenant not with you alone, but both with those who are standing here with us this day. This means this generation, this new generation, before the Lord your God, and with those who are not with us here this day. What can that possibly mean? Not here with us this day? Maybe there are those that are sick in their tents, They couldn't make it to Moses' discourse on this day. But I think what it really means is those not standing with us here this day are you and I. Those that are to come from this new generation. So they will have kids, and they will have kids, and they will have kids. I don't know how many generations that is. It's a lot of generations until you and I are born into the covenant that is being made this day. And by the way, those who the Jewish people are not a race. Yes, it is true that one is a Jew if your mother is a born Jew or a convert to Judaism. But also those who were converts to Judaism are included in this promise. That you as a convert and me as a born Jew, we're all there included in this promise that Moses makes, that he is bringing us into this covenant, this brit, all of us on this last day of Moses' life. How special it is for us to be included in this covenant. Since I read one extra verse, I'm going to end the reading and let that just hang for a moment. I will talk a little bit more about the portion in a little bit. At this moment, I will do a Mishaberach, a blessing for those in and out of our community in need of a blessing for physical, spiritual, emotional healing. Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak Yaakov Shavkorachav Lehu Yivrech V'Rapeh Et Terry Aronov, Helen Byrne, Rhonda Blitz, Baruch Ben Elisheva, Arnold Fast, Sheila Guidry, Chana Batzar, Linda Smith, Marjorie Allen, Charles Miller, Sherry Rush, Sharon Redding, Iris Bat-Rivka, Becca Martinez, Isaac Ben Joseph, Mike Golson, Marcia Orange, Jerry Weisenfeld, Kay Booley, Jeannie Meisler, Miriam Batina, Tara Martinez Fernandez, Liz Woko, Deanna Barber, Miriam Bat-Rivka, Taraz Bat-Ruth, Mark Platnick, Malone Jermaine Barnes, Virginia Madden, Renee and Maddie Raminga, Raymond Labato Jr., Natalie Copeland, Marcia Belcher, Ed Jackman, Colton Gower, Scott Decker, Terry Raminga, Bela Bus Rivka, William Williams, Marilyn Fadomsky, Benjamin Ben Miriam, Wayne Knox, Chuck Bollikar, Jim Mittenswy, Lucy and Tilly Colwell, Rachel Manning, Vinnie Marnstein, Harav Malki Tzedek Ben Barucha. Charles? It's not on. Just tell me. Yael Ben Nami Rivka. Bat Gittel. Gittel Tamar Bat Miriam. Let me see if there's any other names that need to be added. Okay, thank you. Ouch. Stub my toe. Viet kolachim b'kila kadusha, Agudath Israel Etz Ahayem b'kila, Temple Beth Or, HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yimalei Rachim Yimalei Mlachzim V'chapotam V'shlach Leim Meforsh Leim Menashmat Nefesh V'udaguf B'toch She'al Cholei Yisrael V'chazek Yedei Askin B'tzarchehem Hashtabagalav Zman Kariv V'nomar Amen. Excuse me. Okay. Charles made a good suggestion. Since I am coming out of the COVID protocol, I am finally out of quarantine, and on the men that because COVID is literally a deadly disease, not figuratively, but is. Coming out of it, I should give thanks to God for that, and traditionally we do that with the recitation of what's called Gomel, Birkat HaGomel, which I'll do right now. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hagomel l'chayavim tovot shegmelani kol tov. Blessed are you, eternal, our God, ruler of the universe, who graciously bestows favor upon the undeserving, as the Holy One has bestowed goodness upon me. Shi mi shegmalecha kol tov hu yigmalecha kol tov selah. As the Eternal has been gracious to you, may the Eternal bestow heavenly favor upon all humanity, and let us say, Amen, Selah. Okay, now, let me clear all this away, and we will continue page 181 with Ashrei. Pass it back to the Chazan.
אשרי יושבי ביתך, עוד ילוך סלע, אשרי המשיכך לו, אשרי העם שאדוני אלוהיו תהילה לדוד. פותח את ידך מזמן. תהילה אדוני ידבר פי, ויברא כל בשר שם קודשו לעולם ועד. ואנחנו נברך יה מעתה ועד עולם. הללויה.
We rise, page 183, and we face the ark that is open so we can return our virtual Torah. Hodo al eretz v'shamayim v'yaren keren le'amo tila lechol chasidav livnei Yisrael am kravo. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Adonai ba'koach, kol Adonai be'adar, kol Adonai shover arazim, sham be'adonai et alzei halvanon. Kol Adonai chotzev lavotesh, kol Adonai yachil midbar, yachil Adonai midbar kadesh, Kol Adonai Yecholo Ayalot. Adonai Lama Bulya Shavaye Adonai Melech Leolam. Adonai Oz Mo Yiten. Adonai Yivarech Etam Hova Shalom. Page 184. Thank you, Chazan. You may all be seated. Oh, you can leave the doors open because we still have Aleinu. Thank you. Look at the transition. Looks like most of you have moved off of Facebook and are now on YouTube. I'd love to know. Well, I'm going to check it out later. I'll probably log into YouTube and see what the difference is. But one suggestion I will make for those on YouTube, and this was shared to me by Tina McManama, who set all of this up, and I don't understand any of this, but if you could subscribe to this channel, to the channel you're on, after we get to a certain number, something happens with our account that's good, and I have no idea what that is. But, so, regardless, I would encourage all of you to subscribe, to like the video, and we'll see if we can get, I think the magic number is 100. Well, we'll see. Maybe over the high holidays we'll be able to increase that subscription. But I think we're at 9 right now. Encourage all of your family, your spouses, your significant others, your children, pets. We don't discriminate, cats, dogs. As long as they had a bark mitzvah, we're okay. Chazan is the only one who laughs at that. You're all going, ugh. That's such an old rabbi joke. Yes. So anyway, thank you all for being here this morning. I will encourage you all to also go back to last night's service. And please, and right in the middle, listen to my Devar Torah. I'm not going to repeat that this morning. I don't think I could do it any justice, but it was a really, really good message for all of us to hear, especially in this time right before the high holidays, which again begins Monday night at 6 o'clock, right here on your favorite channel. And it's in regard to something tragic that happened not only to me in the last couple weeks, but, well, sad, because I'm recovering from an illness. But there was a fatality in our neighborhood last night, which affected me, still affects me, and affects everybody in our neighborhood. But I derived ultimate meaning with that, and I shared that with some of our neighbors, who then took the message and did exactly what I asked them to do, which is find someone in your life that you haven't told how much you appreciate them, how much you love them, and say that to them. Don't wait another day. Do it today. Because none of us know if we will even, I mean this in a serious way, not in a negative way. We all do not know who of us will not be alive tomorrow. Don't have any regrets. Tell those in your life that you love them, but do it today. Doesn't mean you have to tell everybody, but make a point every day to tell someone. This is the Devar I was going to share last night. Because I have been recovering from COVID, and I'm out of COVID protocol, I'm out of quarantine as of Thursday, actually. This has not been I do not wish this disease on anyone, on this virus on anyone. Protect yourselves. If you're on the fence, get off the fence. Get the vaccine. Please stay away from those. Doesn't matter if you're vaccinated or not. People that are vaccinated can still transmit the virus to you. So get the vaccine, get masked, stay away from people as much as you are able to. Protect yourselves and thereby protect everyone around you. It is not politics. It is a health emergency of the highest order. And we all need to contribute so we can get rid of this virus, this terrible, terrible menace in our world. And so it was very difficult for me to focus in the last couple of weeks. I mean, it takes your energy away. It takes your motivation away. So thank goodness I have extremely talented colleagues, and it was actually suggested by one member of the Rabbinical Assembly that called to check up on me. He says, don't stress. Our colleagues have great words of wisdom. Use them. So this devar comes from Rabbi Solomon Pohl. Moses assembled the whole congregation of Israel, the heads of the tribes, the elders and the officers, the wives, the children, and the strangers, from the wood choppers to the water drawers. All were standing before God as Moses addressed them, saying, "You stand this day, all of you, before the Lord your God, to enter into the covenant of the Lord your God, which the Lord your God is concluding with you this day, with the sanctions, to the end that he may establish with you this day as his people and be your God, as he promised you and as he swore to your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I make this covenant not with you alone, but both with those who are standing with us this day before the Lord our God, and with those who are not here this day." On Rosh Hashanah, every Jew prepares him or herself to stand before God. The elders, the officers, the wives, the children, all enter into temples and synagogues and stand before God to reaffirm their covenant with him or her. As in the past, so does the Jew today assume the responsibility for themselves and for those who will follow after them to carry on this beautiful tradition. The Jew confirms this strong faith by declaring that this Judaism, that this Jewish life, with all its meaning and complexities, with all its pains and pleasures, he will further and cultivate. He pledges to sustain, to persist, and to preserve this form of life that gave meaning to his existence through so many generations. Today, as in the past, the Jew is called upon to choose life, to choose that form of life which will keep him together as a people. The life of the Jew as peoplehood depends wholly upon the values and the meanings, the attributes, and to his heritage, to his tradition, and to his Torah. As God said to the children of Israel, "I call heaven and earth to witness against you this day. I have put before you life and death, blessing and curse. Choose life that you and your offspring may live." Rashi adds, "The Holy One, blessed be he, said to Israel, look upon the heavens which I created to serve you. Have they ever changed their way? Has the sphere of the sun ever failed to rise in the east? Look upon the earth which I created to serve you. Has it ever changed its ways? Have you ever sown it with seed and it did not sprout? Would it not be proper that you do not change to evil way, but choose life?" The Jew is reminded to pursue the unbroken ties of his tradition as the heavens and earth have continued to follow their natural order. In fact, the Midrash relates that God was pleading with Israel not to forsake his Torah. It is compared to a king who had a precious stone, which he had placed for safe custody with his friend, saying to him, I ask you, take great care of the stone and guard it well. For if it is lost, you cannot afford to pay for it, nor have I another like it, and then you will have sinned against me and against yourself. Therefore, do your duty by both of us and guard it well. Today, the plead is for us and to the generations who follow us to guard well this great tradition, this noble heritage. In the words of the Midrash, God has given the Jews a precious stone, this Torah, this Jewish life, which unto this day has shown the light to the world. It has given the Jew a specific character. It has taught the Jew to swim in stormy weathers of time. It has provided the Jew with the power to survive. It has saved the Jew from social annihilation and assimilation. On the forthcoming holy days, the Jew is asked again to take good care of the precious gem. For if it is lost, he cannot afford to pay for it. If this great tradition of ours is not highly valued, or if it loses its significance in our generation, we may lose the link in the chain that connects us to past and future. Also, God cannot replace the Torah as he declared, I have not another like it. There is no other Torah. Jewish life is communal. It emerges and develops. It expands and adjusts. But it is basically the same. As Moses said to Israel, do not say, another Moses will arise and bring us another Torah from heaven. I therefore warn you, it is not in heaven. Lo bashamayim he. That is to say, no part of it remained in heaven. Furthermore, if it is not in heaven, then you should say, who among us can go up to heaven and bring it for us? Neither is it beyond the sea that you should say, who among us can cross to the other side of the sea and get it for us? No, the Torah is very close to you, in your mouth and in your heart, to observe it. The Torah is among us. It is living in our values and judgments and actions. It brings us into a house of worship on these holy days. It melts our hearts into one people. It brings the words to our lips. L'shana tova tikatevu. I wish you a happy, a healthy, and a prosperous new year, and may you all be written in the book of life. Shabbat Shalom. We will now bring our Chazan back. There he is. And we turn to page 185 for the Musaf Amidah. We will do a Hecha Kedusha. We will recite the first three brachot, 185 through the end of the Kedusha, page 187, after which you may recite the final four brachot through page 192. We rise, page 185.
חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי יעקב, ומי כולל לפני בניהם, למען שמו יבא, מלך עוזר ומושיע אדוני מחיימיתים אתה, רב לא שימורי, עטל, מכלכל חי מחסד, מחיימיתים ורחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו, לשני הפעות. חמה חמה גיבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיי מעצמך ישועה, ונאמנך להחיות. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים.
Naritz v'nakdish chuzos serfei kodesh, amakdishim shemach v'kodesh, kakirva yad v'ech v'kozeh elzeh v'yamar. Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh,
Adonai Tzebaot, Melech kol haaretz, kivudo.
Kvodom le'olam mishartav shalem zeh lezeh ayem mekom k'movado, l'matam baruch yomeru. Kom yom yachadem shema v'ki b'chuyam tamin ma'mayim yavashma omrim. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Hu Eloheinu Hu Avinu Hu Malkeinu Hu Hashmi B'Hashmi B'Racham Avshenit Leinei Kochai Liot Lachem Le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem Yemloch Adonai Le'olam Malachim L'Dovador
ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקיש ושפחה להם לא ימוש למועד כי אין מלך על הקדוש אתה ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
wait a few moments for those finishing up their Amidah. And you may be seated when you are done. In a moment, we will continue on page 204 with Ein Kelohenu. We will continue.
En Kelohenu, en Kadonenu, en Kemakenu, en Kemoshienu, en Kelohenu, en Kadonenu, en Kemakenu, en Kemoshienu, mi Kelohenu, mi Kadonenu, mi Kemakenu, mi Moshienu, en Kelohenu, en Kadonenu, en Kemakenu, en Kemoshienu, en Kelohenu, en Kadonenu, en Kemakenu, en Kemoshienu, no del Elohenu, no del Adonenu, no del Makenu, no del Moshienu, en Kelohenu, en Kadonenu, en Kemakenu, en Kemoshienu, en Kelohenu, en Kadonenu, en Kemakenu, en Kemoshienu, Baruch Elohenu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Mashiach, en Kelohenu, en Kadonenu, en Kemakenu, en Kemoshiach, en Kelohenu, en Kadonenu, en Kemakenu, en Kemoshiach, Atahu Elohenu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshiach, Atahu Sheitenu, Avotenu lefanecha, et ketoret asamim, en Kelohenu, en Kadonenu, en Kemakenu, en Kemoshiach, en Kelohenu, en Kadonenu, en Kemakenu, en Kemoshiach.
We continue with Aleinu as the ark is open once again, page 205.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כיועי ארצות, ולא שמנו מכמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל עמונם, ואנחנו תורים ומשתחווים ומודים לכמלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. כי המלכות שלך היא פולעו מהתינוק לכבוד, ורצו בתורתך מלאים ועופרם בעת, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
The ark is closed along with the doors, and we are seated. This week we will observe yard sites for Louis H. Kushner, Elise Salama, Lelton Fretwell, Nathan Wasserman, Bessie Friedlander, Herbert Weisberger, Jack Wool, Louis Goodman, Leon Smith, Morris Ralph Hannon, Rabbi Merenstein, Regina Arrighetti, Julius Cecil, Finkelstein, Saul Goodman, and Les Weinstein. Those observing Yahrzeit and those who mourn, please rise and join me, page 207, for the Kaddish Tome, the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah b'yomah divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon v'yamechon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael ba'agalav v'zman kariv yimaru amen Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam ulmei ma'ya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudisha barichu Leilam min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata da'amiran b'yoma v'imaru amen Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imaru amen Oseh shalom b'mramav uyaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imaru amen. We now turn back to page 59. And we add the psalm for the season of repentance, Psalm 27. L'David Adonai Rovish Mimimira.
B'tov Adonai b'yeretz chayim Tavel Adonai chazak v'yametz libecha v'kaveh el Adonai.
Thank you all for joining us this morning. It has been an absolute pleasure to see all of you that are making comments on all three of our platforms. I just absolutely love it. It looks like we had up to 20 connections. Last night we had about 23 connections. That translates to 30 to 45 people. It's really nice to see such a nice gathering to celebrate Shabbat, and it is an absolute pleasure to share the bima with our Chazan, who also joins us every Shabbat, Friday and Saturday, and he is the one that sends all of the hearts. Him and my daughter send all the hearts on Facebook Live. So here's a question. On YouTube Live, can you send emojis? I have no idea. And if anybody can help me with that, I'd love to be able to. I'm still exploring YouTube Live to see all of its capabilities. I am very glad, though, that the video and the sound are better on. It's a better experience all around on YouTube Live. I am going to check that out. And the nice thing is, if you have a smart TV, you can bring YouTube Live up on your smart TV. And wouldn't it be great to see Chaz and Charles on an 85-inch screen? Oh my gosh. Life can't get any better than that. Also, we have our new redecorated synagogue that has been, we've spent the last year or longer trying to renovate. We have a large screen monitor right outside the bathrooms. And we'll be able to put our service live, so when you come out of the bathroom, wouldn't that be great just to see Chaz and Charles and I in our hallway? I'm just joking. But we will be back tonight for Havdalah via Zoom. Charles and I will be here in our sanctuary on our Bima, but we will not be on the website or YouTube Live or Facebook Live. We'll be via Zoom. If you are not on our master list and need that, need that link, please email me, rabbi@agudathmontgomery.com. If that's too complicated, Rav Malki, RAVMALKI @gmail.com does the same thing. But I hope to see all of you along with all of our friends from Birmingham to Mobile joining us tonight for Havdalah and what we call the Alabama Community Virtual Havdalah. So I look forward to seeing you then, and I look forward to seeing you all for High Holidays beginning Monday night at 6. With that, we will conclude our service, page 211, with Adon Olam. Do you want to do that after Adon? Okay. I'll make it. Okay.
Adon Olam, Hashem Malach, B'terem Kol, Yitzi Nivra, Li'enasa, B'chepto Kol, Azai Melech, Shema Nikra, Adon Olam, Asher Hashem Malach, B'terem Kol, Yetzi Nivra, V'yachare, Kichlot HaKol, Levado, Yimloch Nora, Vehu Haya, Vehu Hove, Vehu Yeh, Beti Faro, Adon Olam, Asher Hashem Malach, B'terem Kol, Yetzi Nivra, Vehu Echad, Ve'en Sheni, להמשילו, להכבירה, בלי ראשית, בלי תכלית, ולא העוז, והמשרה, אדון עולם, אשר השם הלך, בטרם כל יציא נברא, והוא אלי, וחי גואלי, וצור חברי, ועת צרה, והוא ניסי. ומד מוסלי, מנת כוסי, ביום אקרא, אדון עולם, אשר השם מלך, בטרם כל יציא נברא, בידו. אף כי רוחי בעת ישן ואעירה, ואם רוחי גווייתי אדון עלי ולא ירא, אדון עולם אשר השם מלך, בטרם כל יציא נברא, אדון עולם.
So Charles wants to do Kiddush to end our service. I will wish you a Shabbat Shalom and a Lashana Tova Tikatevu. May you all have a sweet, healthy, and happy New Year, and may you all be written in the book of life.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת. לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. בני ובני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת. לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת. לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת. לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. סברים רבן רבותיי, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגופן.
Amen. And with that, again, a Shabbat Shalom, a Lashana Tova to all of you, to our Chazan. Thanks for a lovely service, and we will see you this evening for Havdalah. And for those on YouTube Live, don't forget to subscribe. We would love to see that subscription go way past 100, so some unknown surprise will happen with our account. That's how much I know about YouTube Live.